Hello and welcome to my first behind the scenes for Knights and Bikes. Today I'm actually going to show you how the bikes in Knights and Bikes work. So I guess I should probably start by showing you how you control the bike in Knights and Bikes. So basically left analog stick moves your handlebars around, use the X button to accelerate, and then once you get up to speed you can use the circle button to brake. Now I always try and do these slide turns. We used to have this feature where you had to actually press X along with the pedal speed, and then that's how you accelerated, but it kind of got a little bit annoying, so we just sort of changed it back to just holding the button down. But yeah, that's basically how the bike works. The perspective in Knights and Bikes is actually a little bit funny. So if you go to the scene view, you'll notice that most things in the scene are actually 2D. So we kind of have this 3D world, but most of the assets, as you can see, are actually 2D in it. So I'll go ahead and show you the spine file where we do the animation. So this is our spine file with our character and our bike. So we put them in the same file so they can sort with each other, and sometimes we can put one tire behind and one tire in front, and so on and so forth. But we actually have to play 4 animations on top of each other to get the look that we have for the bike right now. So I'm going to go through, and I guess first thing I'll do is hide the player so we can see the bike first. So the basic animation for the bike is actually just called bike rotate. And as you can see while it's loading, it's basically a 360-degree rotation of the bike in 23 different frames. So basically, using this animation, we can face the bike in any direction. So we just choose the right frame for the direction that the player is trying to ride in. The second animation is a little bit cheeky because we basically took the previous animation, just deleted all the keyframes that weren't to do with the handlebars. So this is sort of the handlebar turn animation, and as you can see, it just rotates the handlebars. And with these two in combination, what we can do is point the bike in the right direction, but also use the handlebars to indicate what direction the player is trying to turn, because I think that's really meaningful feedback. So the next animation, there's actually 4 of them, are the wheel turn animations. So we have a rotation animation for each wheel, front and back, but we also have a forward-facing and a side-facing version of each one. So this sort of allows us to rotate each wheel at a different speed based on how fast the bike is going. So if you're pivoting around the back tire or something like that, the back tire is going to stay still, but the front tire is going to be moving pretty quickly. And so we layer all 3 of these animations on top of the character animation. So the character animations actually, let me turn the character back on. The character animations are the actual fun part of the animation. So here's Demelza's coast animation that I love so much. And it's just her sort of taking her feet off the pedals. And that actually is a point about the pedals, because the pedals, oddly enough, are actually in the character animations rather than in the bike animations, because we always need to sync them up with the character's movement. So if you see here, this animation actually does have movement in the pedals. It actually has movement in the tires as well, but that will get overridden by the tire animations. So yeah, that's basically our spine file setup and the animations that we use to get the effect that you see in the bike in the game. So because I am a programmer, I want to show a tiny bit of code. But basically, there's 2 little bits of code that we have for when the bike speeds up. And one of the things is this shake parameter. So originally what we did was we did a screen shake kind of randomized positioning, and the problem with that is when you're ramping up, it doesn't sort of have the luxury of building up to a nice, aggressive shake from something a lot smoother. So I ended up doing something that was sort of more time-based and deterministic, and use sine and cosine to sort of build up this look. The other thing is that we have a particle system that's attached to the back wheel of the bike, and we make sure that we scale that up as the bike goes faster. So the last thing I want to talk about is the bike trail, which I'm really happy with. I think it's really nice to see this really nice, organic, smooth line drawing thing, because it sort of reflects how nice and smooth the bike riding experience is. But one of the nice touches that we sort of came up with is that we wanted to not have a trail that went on forever, but it was hard to sort of make it disappear, because originally what we did was we just kept it a fixed length, and then the tail would sort of follow you along. But it creates sort of this visual problem where you have a tail that you're looking at because it's in motion. So what we've done instead is every time it gets too long, we sort of pick a certain chunk of it and we fade it out. And I feel like it's definitely less apparent than anything else. But yeah, so that's the end of my first developer diary. I hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit behind the scenes of how Knights and Bikes is made. And I'll be putting a link in the description to the Kickstarter and maybe even something on screen. And it'd be amazing if you could back us or support us or shout about us. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully I'll be doing this again soon. Bye.